The movie kicks off with Don just chilling by himself, and everything's cool. Then he gets a call. He says to the caller, "Don," and the guy on the other end says, "Come on over, hand me the bag of Coke and grab your cash." Don grabs the bag and heads to the specified location. He walks in and hands his weapon to the guard at the door. And because he's a genius, they take everything he has, even the glasses he's wearing. Don says, "Keep them." Don hands a bag to a man and asks for his money, but he is betrayed. Instead of money, the man's associate, Sonia, raises her gun in his face and the man orders him to put his hands up. Don refuses, sarcastically telling him to say, "Please." The man complies with the sarcastic request and repeats his command, "Please, raise your hands." He raises them, and man, does the boss regret it. He hits the button on his watch, and the glasses the guard is holding turn into a bomb. Boom! It hits Sonia. You think he's gonna let her idiot boss get away? I swear, no way that's happening. He starts beating the crap out of him, just crushes him, and the bomb takes out the rest. And the ones after them follow the ones before them. He finishes all of his men, and that idiot points his gun at him, saying, "You can't escape from me, Don. I'm not like anyone you've ever met." With a swift move, Don spins around him and says, "No, it's not hard to catch Don. It's impossible." The man says, "If you kill me, my men won't leave you alone." Don replies, "I'll leave my address for them outside. I'll be waiting." Then he finishes him. Meanwhile, the police know about all of Don's crimes, but they just can't catch him. Officer Silva tells them, in 1990, the Soviet Union collapsed, so the arms and drug trade on the black market became common. Boris was one of the biggest and most dangerous dealers of illegal goods in the world at the time. A few years later, Boris disappeared. We thought he was dead, but that bastard didn't die. He went to India and started buying huge quantities of drugs. The two men he trusts and relies on the most are Vardhan and Singhania. This is a picture of Singhania, but we don't know anything about Vardhan except his name. It's said that Singhania killed Boris, and he's the one who controls Asia after him. Another officer asks him, "Okay, so is it possible that Singhania killed Vardhan too?" He replies, "Anything's possible, because no one has ever seen this Vardhan, and no one knows him. Not even intelligence agencies have brought back any information on him. Everything you've heard is one thing, and Don is something else entirely. A smart, cunning guy, a formidable fighter. It's hard, no, impossible for anyone to catch him. Yes, but as long as I'm in charge of the case, he won't slip through my fingers." And here he is, Don, finding out that the police know everything about him. He tells his right-hand man, Narang, "Narang, welcome back." He replies, "Thanks, boss." Don asks him, "Did you find out who the traitor who sold me out to the police is?" He answers, "No, I didn't find out, boss." Suddenly, Don hits one of the guards with a ball and takes him out. Narang asks him, "Why did you kill him, boss?" Don replies, "I don't like his shoes. You look at them too, you won't like them either." Narang looks at the shoe and finds a tracking device planted in it. Don says, "The dog was working as a police informant. He's the one who sold us out. Next time you bring in new guys, let them meet me first before you put them among our men." Narang replies, "Consider it done, boss." At that moment, the police arrive at the location of the informant Don killed. Officer Malik arrives at the scene and asks Silva, how did he know that we knew everything about him, even though all the officers who attended the meeting were senior officers from India? Silva replies, "Honestly, I don't know, Chief." Malik looks at Officer Verma, takes him aside and tells him, "I know you suspect Verma because he's still a young guy, and Don might play with his mind, but I trust this young man. He would never do that." He says to him, "Excuse me, do you drink coffee, sir?" Then he smells it and says, "I was just making sure. I trust Verma more than anyone I know, and I'll catch that dog named Don as soon as possible." Silva replies, "Good luck." Meanwhile, Roma goes to her brother's house and says to his wife, "How are you, sweetie? Where's Ramesh?" She answers, "He's inside. He's been scared since yesterday." Roma goes into him and asks, "What's wrong? What's the matter?" He replies, "Yesterday I felt that Don found out I'm working as a spy for the police." His fiancée, Kamini, tells him, "Don't worry, honey. So what if he knows? Tonight you'll go and pack all your things and we'll leave the whole country and get out of here." He says to her, "Deal." And indeed, he goes to get his stuff, and just as he's about to leave, Don surprises him, saying, "My brother Ramesh, isn't it a shame to leave before saying goodbye to your uncle Don?" Ramesh replies, "I was just getting my things. I'll be gone for a couple of days, then I'll be back." Don tells him, "Man, I found out you were betraying me and selling me out to the cops." Ramesh Ramesh begs him, "Please forgive me." Don says, "Of course I forgive you, and I'll even let you live with your fiancée. What's her name?" He answers, "Kamini." Don says, "Kamini, I'll let you live with Kamini." Ramesh asks him, "Really?" Don replies, "Definitely, but I was sad that you were going to leave without saying goodbye." "All right, goodbye, my brother." He shakes his hand and tells him, "I feel so bad for the fish. They're about to eat some really nasty meat." Then he injects him in the hand, saying, "Don't be scared. This is a poison injection that will finish you off in 10 seconds. And sure enough, his body goes numb. Don tells him, "Ramesh, whoever leaves Don leaves the whole world behind. Goodbye, my brother." Then throws him in with the fish. The next day, Kamini goes to Officer Silva. He tells her, "Calm down." She replies, "I can't calm down. I want justice for my fiancé." He tells her, "We will get you justice for your fiancé." At night, Don is at a party. Kamini puts on a sexy outfit and goes to dance in front of him. He likes her, so he takes her upstairs to a room to light a cigarette for him. He tells her, "Honestly, I'm thinking about quitting smoking." She replies, "I'll make you quit thinking about everything." His phone rings. She tells him, "Should I get you the phone?" He tells her, "Stay put, this is business. Go inside and put on something even sexier than that." He answers the phone while she goes inside and sees his gun on the bed. She calls Officer Silva. He tells her, "Damn it, good thing you're still alive. Anyway, should I raid the place?" She replies to him, then goes back out to Don. She tells him, "You don't have anything inside that I can wear." He replies, I forgot to tell you." She asks him, "Do you care that much about clothes?" He replies, "Not really." She thinks to herself, "Just you wait, you scumbag." She closes the laptop so he can't see who's coming and going outside and takes him inside, but the watch he's wearing beeps. He grabs his gun and runs to open the laptop and sees the cop disabling the cameras. He says to her, "Whoa, so you're one of them." She replies, "Ramesh was my fiancé." He says, "Oh my God, for Ramesh." She says, "Exactly. Ramesh isn't like anyone else you've killed. His justice won't be in vain. And if you think you're going to escape this time, you're mistaken." He says to her, "Really?" She replies, "The police are waiting for you outside. Don't even try to do anything with your gun because it's empty anyway." He looks at the gun and tells her, "Bravo, you played that well, but you know the gun is empty, while the people waiting outside for you don't." He grabs her, muffles her voice, and walks out with her, telling them, "Make way, you idiots." Silva tells him, let her go and we'll let you escape." Don replies, "You fool, you think I'm going to be like you and believe you? Get out of the way, you idiot. Get out of the way or I'll blow her head off." He calls for the elevator and they call it for him. He gets inside and before the door closes, he shoots her. Silva realizes his gun was empty, runs down the stairs until he reaches the ground floor, but he finds that Don has killed the girl and escaped. Roma is devastated over her brother and his fiancé and decides to get her revenge. She runs and gets in the car with Narang, points a gun at him and says, "Drive, fast." Narang's driver says, "The cops are behind us, boss." Narang yells, "Drive faster." The police arrive at the scene, but Roma takes them out. Narang is impressed by her. At that time, Don is sitting down and storing all the passwords for his accounts and anything related to his work on this disk, and he puts it in this case. Narang enters with Roma. Don asks him, "Who's this girl?" He replies, "A fierce one. You'll like her a lot. She killed 4 cops, so I brought her with me." He tells him, "Leave her and go." Don asks her, "Why were you running from the police?" She says, "Getting revenge for my sister." He asks her, "Who killed her?" She replies, "Her husband. His name was Rajiv. They had a fight and he killed her." He asks her, "And did you kill him?" He gets closer to her and says, "You know, I like a lot of things about Narang." She grabs a knife and is about to finish him, but he spins around her and says, "Why, beautiful? I thought you were just pretty, but you turn out to be a wildcat." Narang comes in and Don tells him, "Look at what you brought me. She wanted to finish me, but I like her. From today on, you work with us." She's overjoyed. Don takes Narang and tells him, "I spoke with Sony." Narang asks him, "Is he still?" Don says, "Why do I feel like you're not excited about this deal?" He replies, "I'm worried about you. This whole thing is getting too big for you." Don tells him, "This is success. keep this with you. Narang asks him, what's on this disc? Don replies sarcastically, your mom's wedding registry. Focus for a second. This disc has intel on the biggest gangs in the world, the people we work with. When our boss, Singanya, gets back, give it to him. Don leaves him and goes to deliver that deal. He says to the guy who's supposed to receive it, where's the money? The man replies, give me the goods first. Don replies, as you wish, then throws him the bag. But the bag explodes. Those scumbags were working with the police and got what they deserved. Officer Silva chases him. It seems he doesn't know who he's chasing. This is Don. He drags them behind him left and right and suddenly enters a road packed with workers. He goes in but can't get out. They start wailing on him with their weapons, but he gets back at them and escapes. Silva and Verma chase him, but he has already disappeared from the car. Verma looks for him in one direction and Silva is in the other. And sure enough, Silva finds him and raises his gun at him, saying, finally, you son of a bitch. Don replies, if you want to kill me, do it if you're a man. You won't gain anything because you can't prove anything against me. Silva goes back to Verma and says, he escaped. We're not gonna find him. At that time, Don's men are looking for him but can't find any trace of him. Officer Silva goes to the police station and says, 2 months ago, a young man came here with a little boy and said his father and mother had disappeared. What was that young man's name? The policeman answers, Vijay. Silva says, no, the little boy who was with Vijay. The policeman replies, oh, his name is something like Deepu. Silva says, get me his file. He brings the file, and who is Deepu with? With Vijay. The child tells him, where have you been all this time, Vijay? Vijay replies, just Vijay like that? How many times have I told you to call me dad? The child says, are you going to start believing your own hype? I know you're not my dad. Vijay replies, and why are you so angry? Come on, I'm working day and night to get you into the best schools so you can become a great engineer, officer, or doctor. The child says, do me a favor and find my dad. Officer Silva walks in on them and says, how are you, Vijay? Then he asks the child, is this your dad? He answers, no. Silva tells Vijay, come with me. He takes him with him and says, okay, now look and listen to me. You've been with me for 8 hours telling me the story of this criminal named Don. And honestly, I don't know if you're annoyed or sad about Don, or if you just came to vent to me. Bottom line, what's it to me? Silva tells him, take this picture. You'll understand everything. Vijay says, wow, but I don't remember taking a picture in this pose. Silva tells him, is that all you care about? This is someone else, you idiot. Vijay replies, no way, you're kidding. Is this Don? Damn, and what do you want from me? Silva replies, you're going to become Don, and you'll go in among his men and get me all the information I want. Vijay says, all right, you're saying Don knew how to drive anything while I'm still learning how to ride a bike? Silva tells him, I'll teach you everything, and I'll make you a carbon copy of Don. Vijay says, okay, one last request. I'm not afraid of anything, but if anything bad happens to me, this child will be lost. Silva reassures him, don't worry about him. This child is under my protection, and I'll get him into the best schools. Vijay says, may God help me. And Deepu, that little boy, is the son of a very important person. His father is in prison, training hard to get out and take what's his. Let me tell you what happened to him from the beginning. Jasjit, one of the most famous software engineers in the world, lives a life full of happiness with his son Deepu and his wife until a very big businessman named Joshi visits him in his office to program his safe for him. He programs it for him with a password special to him and his fingerprint. He programs the safe and says, there, all set. Joshi replies, perfect, you genius. Jasjit leaves him and goes home, only to find the security guard dead. Suddenly, those thugs hit him and he loses consciousness. He wakes up to find himself in a box. He asks, what do you want from me? He's told, shut up. He asks, who are you? He replies, this is Vardhan. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Joshi, the one whose safe you programmed, put diamonds worth $9 million in it. You will bring me these diamonds, or else I'll let you go get them. And if you even think about not coming back, your wife is with me. And if you don't bring the diamonds within 2 hours, I will have finished her. Jasjit says, okay, I'll do what you want, but let my wife go. Vardhan replies, bring the diamonds, take your wife, and go. And so, Jasjit prepares a plan, and at night he attacks Joshi's house. He goes in and turns on a dim light to lift Joshi's fingerprint. He lifts it successfully, and of course, he knows the password. He enters it, opens the safe, and takes the diamonds. He goes down and opens the elevator to find who? Silva in all his might, right in his face. Silva tells him, what a wonderful surprise. Put the bag on the floor and surrender yourself. Jasjit replies, believe me, this This is beyond my control. There's a guy named Vardhan who kidnapped my wife and will kill her if I don't give him these things. Silva replies, tell that to the DA. Jasjit pushes him and runs away. Silva chases him yelling freeze, but he doesn't, so he shoots him in the leg. And indeed, he's arrested, and Vardhan finishes off his wife. They let him out of prison to say goodbye to his wife, and he remembers her and thinks about his son, who he doesn't know is dead or alive. He's still in prison to this day, and he says to himself, just a few more days and I'll be out to drink your blood, Silva. Silva takes Vijay to Don. Vijay says, oh hell no, this guy looks exactly like me. My dad died when I was a kid. Silva tells him, it's possible your mother is the reason. Vijay replies, how? Never mind, but why didn't you just jail him and end this whole case? Silva replies, when you finish your mission and tell me everything about him, I'll hand him over and give you a reward to close the case properly. Come on, follow me. He takes him to the doctor and tells him, look, I want the exact same look as Don, with all the scratches on his body and face. I want him to be a carbon copy. The doctor says, all right, sir, and leaves him. Silva tells Vijay, listen, you'll go into his men acting like you have amnesia because of the accident. You'll go in not remembering anything, so they'll tell you everything about Don. Got it? Vijay replies, got it, boss. And sure enough, they take him into the operating room. Silva asks the doctor, how long until he's ready? He replies, 2 days at most. Suddenly, the nurse says the patient in room number 2 is in very bad condition. They run to room number 2, where who is there? Don. He starts convulsing and dies. Silva is in complete shock and tells them, don't you dare let anyone know he's dead. Nobody knows he's dead until we're done with what we're doing. They reply, yes, sir. At that time, Jasjit gets out of prison and looks at a picture of his wife and his son, Deepu. Officer Verma is at work when his phone rings. He rushes to a location, opens a tent, and finds Don. Meanwhile, Don's men are in front of a news channel, and the anchor says, and finally, one of the biggest criminals in Asia, Don, has been arrested. He was found lying down, and doctors say he has amnesia because he was in an accident. Narang tells Roma, this is your mission. When they transfer him, attack them and take him from them. And indeed, Silva takes him in this ambulance, and they're on their way to the prison hospital. But Roma gets her men ready, and they attack them, holding them at gunpoint. Silva is completely surrendered because the plan is going exactly as he wants. And sure enough, they take the ambulance and drive off. And in the evening, Vijay is standing by the sea. Narang goes to him and says, welcome back, Don. Vijay replies, who are you? I don't remember anything. He tells him, I'm Narang, and this is Roma. We all work for Singhania. I wish you would try to remember something. He replies, I can't. He tells him, all right, go get some sleep and rest. At that time, Malik goes to Silva and tells him, what do you mean they took Don from you while you and your men were just standing there like you didn't exist? Silva doesn't answer him and just leaves. Meanwhile, Narang takes Vijay to his safe and gives him the disc. Vijay asks him, what's this? He replies, you made this disc yourself and gave it to me to keep. It has information about the people we work with, and your account numbers, your passwords, and everything about your life. Vijay takes the disc and calls Silva saying, I found out almost everything about Don. Silva tells him, okay, go to the place I'm about to tell you and I'll raid you there. It was a place Don always went to, and sure enough, Vijay goes there and Roma stands next to him. He touches her hair and says, you're the only one I could never forget. Suddenly, the police raid them. They get in their cars and Vijay drives, pulling a wild maneuver, going under a truck and escaping them. Roma tells him, Don, did you get your memory back? He replies, it's back. He goes back to the house and tells them, I am Don and I remember everything about you. Narang tells him, it's not important that you remember us. What's important is that you remember our enemies. Don replies, Don doesn't remember trash. You want me to remember Officer Silva, or Ramesh, or Tugo, or Tejay? I killed half of them, and I came back to finish the other half. He leaves them and goes to call Silva, saying, I have the disc, and tomorrow I'm delivering a drug shipment. After I'm done, come meet me and take the disc from me. He replies, deal. He hangs up, grabs a picture of Singhania, and says, you're a burnt card now, Singhania. And sure enough, Vijay goes and takes Roma with him. He finishes the deal, and before Silva arrives, Roma points a gun at him and says, freeze, Don. He tells her, Roma, stop joking. She replies, I'm not joking. I'm Ramesh's sister. He says, Ramesh is your brother. She says, my brother. And I wouldn't be satisfied killing you until I told you why I'm going to kill you. Goodbye, Don. Suddenly, he hits her with the bag. She attacks him and she's strong, but Vijay anticipates her moves. She kicks him and he blocks it. She attacks him with a metal wire and he pulls it from her hand, pounces on her and tells her, "Calm down and understand." She says, "Understand what? What am I supposed to understand, you criminal? I'm going to kill you, Dawn." He tells her, "I'm not Dawn." The truth she doesn't know comes out, and Silva appears and tells her, "Indeed, this isn't Dawn." He takes her outside and tells her everything that happened. She's overjoyed and says, "Who would believe this isn't Dawn? I'm so sorry, VJ." Silva tells him, "Well done, hero. Where's the disc?" VJ says, "Here's the disc." Silva takes it and opens a bag he brought with him that has a gun in it and is about to finish them both off. But VJ tells him, "I forgot to tell you something important. Singhania is coming here tomorrow. As soon as he arrives, I'll know his location and I'll send you the address immediately." Silva lowers the gun and tells him, "I'll be waiting for your call." VJ leaves him and goes to see Deepu. Roma tells him, "You have a really good relationship with this boy. It reminds me of my relationship with my brother." He tells her, "I'm sorry I look like that dog named Dawn." She tells him, "It's not your fault." In the evening, Silva is sitting at home when there's a knock on the door. He goes to look through the peephole and suddenly Jasjeet bursts in. Silva tries to get up, but Jasjeet hits him so hard he loses consciousness. He wakes up to find Jasjeet pointing a gun at him, saying, "What, do you remember me, officer?" Silva asks him, "No, who are you?" He replies, "Remember January 9th? Who did you arrest? He had $9 million worth of diamonds." "What? You don't remember? Fine, I'll shoot you in the leg, just like you did to me. Maybe you'll remember something." Silva says, "Okay, I remember you, Jasjeet. What do you want?" Jasjeet replies, "No, I want a lot, a whole lot." Silva tells him, "Listen, believe me, it was out of my hands. I was just doing my job." Jasjeet yells, "Your job? And what about them? Weren't their lives part of your job? My wife who died, and my son who I don't know if he's dead or alive." Silva looks at a picture and says, "Is this boy Deepu your son?" Jasjeet asks him, "Do you know him? Do you know where he is?" He replies, "Definitely, of course. But let me go run an errand, and when I come back, I'll bring him to you." Jasjeet tells him, "You son of a bitch, tell me where he is and I'll go get him." Silva replies, "Shoot all you want. You can't kill me now because I'm the only one who knows where your son is." Jasjeet tells him, "Get out of my face. Finish your errand, bring my son, and come back." Silva picks up the bag with the disc in it, but Jasjeet stops him, saying, "No, leave this bag so you'll come back to me." Silva replies, "I can't." Jasjeet says, "That's my final offer." Meanwhile, Singhania arrives and goes to a party. Vijay sends the address to Silva. That scumbag shows up and follows Singhania into the bathroom. He had put poison in his glass and forces him to drink it. Suddenly, Malik arrives with his forces and raids the place, and he catches Dawn, not knowing this is Vijay and not Dawn. Silva gets shot in the shoulder. He runs towards the rest of the gang, and suddenly one of them holds him at gunpoint. Malik arrives. Silva tells him, "Finish him, don't be afraid of him," but he doesn't. And sure enough, they take Silva and leave. But the police shoot at the car, taking out the driver, and the car crashes into an electrical box and explodes with them inside. And just like that, Vijay no longer has any proof that he's Vijay and not Don. Malik asks Verma, "You think this guy isn't Don, right?" Verma replies, "Sir, Don is more cunning than anything. I mean, this could be one of his tricks." Malik says, "All right, bring in Narang, his man." They bring Narang and make him listen to the interrogation. Malik goes into Vijay. Vijay tells him, "I swear on my mother's life I'm not Don, and I've never even seen him, sir. And besides, why don't you believe me? Bring Officer Silva. He's the one who recruited me himself." Malik tells him, "Officer Silva is dead." Vijay says, "Dead? You're screwed, Vijay." He adds, "Okay, I gave him a disc with information on all the gangs Don was working with, and it also has Don's passwords and accounts and everything about him." Malik replies, "Also, Officer Silva never told us anything about what you're saying." Vijay says, "How? You're about to say he wasn't even a police officer? Fine, search his office or his house. You'll definitely find the disc." Malik says, "We'll see." He sends Officer Verma, and they turn the house upside down, but they don't find the bag. The bag had been taken by Jasjeet, so Silva would bring back his son. Anyway, they go back to Vijay again. He tells them, "What do you mean you didn't find the disc? I gave it to him with my own hands." Malik tells him, "Unfortunately, son, there's no evidence to prove your innocence." They put him in a holding cell with his men. Jimmy tells him, "How's it going, Vijay?" And another one says, "We heard everything." Vijay says, "Don't be idiots like him. I just said that to mess with them." They grab him, but Narang pulls them off him. Vijay says, "There you go. Talk some sense into them, Narang." Narang tells him, "You are Vijay, and when we get out of here, we're going to finish you Don's way." Malik tells Verma, "We don't want to screw up like every other time. We'll transport Don and his men by plane." He replies, "Done." And indeed, the next day they take them all on this plane. On the way, Vijay points at Jimmy and tells him, "I'm gonna slice you up." Jimmy gets mad. Vijay tells everyone, "Excuse me guys, I need to use the restroom." They take him in, and he beats up the two guys standing there, takes a gun from them and says, "Don't move." He's about to close the door, but Jimmy bursts in and starts beating him senseless. Vijay thinks to himself, "I'm dead either way. What do I have to be afraid of?" And he opens the plane door. They fall out, beating each other up, but Vijay spins around him, takes the parachute, and leaves him to fall alone.
He lands with the parachute and goes to Roma. She hugs him and he tells her everything that happened to him. She tells him, "Okay, but why didn't you bring me to testify?" He replies, "No one would believe you, Roma. My only proof of innocence is the disc that Silva had." She tells him, "Don't worry, I'll figure out how to help you." She goes to a guy named Raj and tells him, "I want to buy the disc you're selling." He tells her, "I was offering it to a friend of mine. Wait until I talk to him." Before he can call him, Vardhan calls him and says, "Listen, your son Deepu is with me. If you don't bring the disc to the location I give you, I'll have my men finish him." Jasjeet goes to him, and Vijay goes to Raj and breaks into his house. He tells him, "You want to sell the disc to your friend? Who is this friend of yours? Speak up, or I'll finish you." He tells him, "Okay, I'll tell you. The disc is with Jasjeet, and he's on his way to the criminal with it right now. It seems he kidnapped his son." Vijay tells him, "Give me his address." He gives him the address. Jasjeet goes to meet Vardhan and finds his men. He tells them, "This is child's play. I don't want it. Where's my son?" They don't answer him, so he leaves them and walks away. Vardhan tells him, "I missed you, Jasjeet." Jasjeet replies, "Silva?" He replies, "No, I am Vardhan." Jasjeet is shocked and says, "But I heard you were dead." Vardhan says, "A person who lived his whole life acting for the entire police force, wouldn't he know how to make up a story about his death? And what happened was, that scumbag took him, and before the car could move, he dropped him down this manhole." Jasjeet says, "No, I actually like it." Vardhan replies, "Anytime."
"Now, give me the disc." Jasjeet tells him, "Okay, so you owe me for 3 things. First, when you made me steal the diamonds, you criminal. Second, when you came to me as an officer and arrested me. And third, killing my wife." Vardhan tells him, "You're right, but you can save your son now." He had one of his men point a gun at Deepu. Jasjeet says, "Oh, you son of a bitch." Vardhan replies, "Calm down, give me the disc, take your son, and go." Jasjeet says, "I'll call someone to bring it." He takes out his phone and says, "This is Jasjeet. Bring me the disc and come to the address I'm about to send you." Vardhan tells his men, "All right, until his friend arrives, take them and lock them up inside." They take them, and he tells his right-hand man, after his friend brings the disc, finish all 3 of them. Jasjeet hugs his son and tells him, "I'm sorry, son." He replies, "Don't worry about it, Dad. How are you going to get us out of this mess?" He tells him, "Don't worry." He looks at the air conditioning vent, and indeed, they escape through it. As they're walking, Vijay has arrived. He turns back to look at them and sees Deepu with his father. He keeps walking behind them and pulls out his gun, and suddenly, Jasjeet attacks him from behind. Both of them are strong, and in this situation, I don't know who to root for. They're breaking each other's bones. Deepu sees Vijay from below, and he runs to them and says, "Dad, leave him alone. This is my uncle Vijay. He's the one who took care of me while you were in prison." They go back to the house, and Jasjeet says, "Take it, Vijay. This is the disc. This is the proof of your innocence. This is the least I can do for you after what you did for my son." Vijay tells him, "But I need another favor from you." He asks him, "What favor?" He replies, "That you come with me and testify in front of the police that this disc was with Officer Silva, because unfortunately, Officer Silva died." Jasjeet tells him he didn't die. Silva turned out to be alive under a completely different name. Vijay asks him, "Under what name?" He replies, "Under the name Vardhan." Vijay is shocked and says, "Oh, that son of a bitch Vardhan. So he put me in Don's place to get him this disc, get rid of Singhania, and become the king of Asia in his place. And after he got what he wanted, he left me as I am, Don, so the police would arrest me while he rules the scene alone. What a setup by this scumbag. So smart." Jasjeet asks him, "What are you planning to do?" He replies, "You're going to go and give him this disc." Roma says, "How?" Vijay says, "Just like he says, and Officer Malik will see everything with his own eyes." call him and get him to come. And indeed, Justit goes to meet him. Vardhan asks him, did you bring the disc? He replies, it's with me. He tells him, go up to this bridge, you'll find me there. He goes up to the bridge and asks, where are you? Look down and throw the bag. He throws him the bag and Justit takes it and counts the money, saying, it's all here, perfect. Vardhan tells him, so, quick, tell me where the disc is. He replies, go up to the second bridge, you'll find the disc in a bag. He goes up but finds the bag empty, and he gets angry, but Vijay shows up and tells him, calm down Vardhan. Vardhan asks him, what do you want now? Vijay replies, I came to ask you the same question. Vardhan replies, I don't have time for any stupid questions. Vijay tells him, but I do have time, and I'm going to finish you right now. They raise their guns at each other. Vijay says, you're careful about your life, Vardhan, but I'm already finished. If the police catch me, they won't believe I'm Vijay, and the least I'll get for all of Don's crimes is the death penalty. Vardhan tells him, shame on you. What about me? I'll return the disc and get you out of the country to wherever you want. Vijay tells him, the disc is with me. Vardhan replies, really? Give it to me and I'll fly you out right now, and I'll give you more money than you know how to spend. Vijay tells him, you want me to trust you again after you betrayed me? Vardhan replies, the whole world is about betrayal, you idiot. The thing that made me betray my country and my profession. Do you think I won't betray you, Vijay? Puts his gun on the ground and Vijay takes out the disc for him. He gets closer to him and Malik is watching and hearing everything that's happening. He tells his men this is the signal. He grabs the radio and says, all forces move to the bridge. Vijay throws the disc on the ground. Vardhan bends down to pick it up, but Vijay steps on it with his foot. He's about to hit him, but he moves the gun away. That scumbag hits him with rage, and Vijay can't do anything against him. He gathers his strength and attacks him, left and right. Take this. Come here, this is your last night. He breaks his bones and is about to throw him off the top, but Malik tells him, no Vijay, don't you dare throw him, son. We did what we wanted, and you have the proof of your innocence now. Vardhan says, kill me Vijay, kill me, because if I go to jail, I'll have my men finish you. Malik tells him, no Vijay, your record is clean. Don't dirty it with him, son. Vijay calms down, and indeed, he pulls him back up onto the bridge. They put Vijay in the ambulance, and Roma tells him, congratulations, Vijay, on your innocence. He replies, thanks. Roma tells Vijay, I love you so much. He replies, and I love you, my wildcat. The ambulance drives away, and Roma focuses on the words and remembers who called her my wildcat. It's Dawn. She rushes to Malik and tells him, the one in the ambulance isn't Vijay. The one in the ambulance is Dawn. Yes, my friend, Dawn. Because what happened in the hospital was that Dawn was awake and heard Silva and Vijay. And when they left the room, he took a quick look and saw the door's password. After the doctor finished Vijay's operation, Dawn got up from his bed, went to him, moved Vijay to his bed, and gave him a poison injection in his IV. And he went to Vijay's room and slept. His girlfriend tells him, you really are a genius, Dawn. He replies, a clean sweep. She says, but the problem is the disc. He tells her, it's a fake. I got rid of everyone with one blow. And finally, I am the king of the illegal goods market in Asia. And always remember, catching Dawn isn't hard. It's impossible. And in the end, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive our exciting videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.